I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of November 18, 2024 to order at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
President Jones.
Present.
Vice President Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Dara.
Present.
Commissioner Richard.
Present.
Commissioner Haluka.
Here.
Solicitor Jewett.
Here.
Manager Patterson.
Here.
This meeting, as all others, will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Do I hear a motion to approve the November 11th workshop meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Ms. Patterson?
So the next thing is a public hearing for the Comcast franchise agreement renewal. And we hired a special solicitor to negotiate this franchise agreement because that's their specialty. And so they said that we need to have a brief public hearing to allow any members of the public to discuss any concerns they have with the availability of receiving Comcast service. It's not about individual bills, it's about if anybody has anything to say about whether or not they can get cable at their house or something like that. So Solicitor Jewett has the opening statement for this public hearing, and then it can go to see if anybody has any comments.
Absolutely. So, good evening. As the managers have stated, this is a public hearing of the Aleppo Township Board of Commissioners regarding cable franchise renewal for the Township of Aleppo. This public hearing is held pursuant to Section 626 of the Federal Cable Act, which sets forth the process for franchise renewal. The Township's current franchise with Comcast is within the industry norm renewal window, and the Township is beginning the process of renewing the franchise. This public hearing is part of the preliminary portion of franchise renewal, in which the Township reviews the cable operator's past performance and identifies the Township's future cable-related community needs. As such, as part of this public hearing, we invite comments from any citizens who wish to speak regarding either or both of the aforementioned subjects. Franchise renewal is the best opportunity for municipalities to assert their rights with respect to their cable operator and to obtain important benefits in return for granting the cable operator the right to use their public rights of way. These benefits include 1. A state-of-the-art cable system now and in the future. 2. Strong customer service standards. 3. Free services to community facilities. 4. Better reporting requirements from cable operators. 5. Maximize franchise fees. 6. Public educational governmental, aka PEG, channels if desired. PEG capital support funding if desired. 8. Legal protections of the rights of way. And 9. Better mechanisms to enforce the franchise agreement. These are just some of the potential benefits available through franchise renewal. Citizens may address these items or any other cable-related items that are important to them, and we will now open the hearing up to citizen comments. Thank you. Is there anybody in the room who would like to provide public comment on the cable franchise agreement between the Township of Aleppo and Comcast? Going once.
And just to say, the franchise agreement is the agreement that allows Comcast to operate and provide service in the township. That's what.
Going twice.
So,
Sold. Hearing none, we can now close the public hearing.
No action required.
No action required.
Do I hear a motion in regard to the exercise of the second contract renewal option for the police?
So moved.
Would a second read the motion?
A second, a motion to exercise second contract renewal option under the police services contract with Ohio Township and to provide Ohio Township with required notice.
Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. You gotta come back, chief.
I'm here. Great.
Fire company?
Police report?
Pardon me?
Police
Are we doing the
Police
police
report.
report?
Police report.
We did the motion, not the.
Okay, well, it's not really there. All right, please.
I'm more than happy to let fire go first.
That's never happened in history of emergency response. Hold him to that, chief.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Thank you for extending the contract and choosing to continue our services. So for the month of October, busy month, a lot of EMS calls, 53 total. So that's a pretty large amount there, right? But for the total of the month, we had 79 calls. The rest of the calls, we had on here, it's reported as 2 non-reportable accidents. One was an assist to another agency to help close a road. The other one was vehicle damaged on one of the businesses at Overlook Drive. Officers were still looking into that. We had a couple civil disputes in suspicious circumstances, things like that. They all seemed to work out. There was nothing that had any kind of impact on residents or any kind of concern for the rest of the population there. We had several calls to some of the businesses in the industrial park area with employee issues, employees arguing with each other or with boss, things like that. All seemed to resolve itself without issue. A few fraud reports, we go over that every month, but that seems to be a consistent thing. Other than that, that seems to be about it for that month. Any questions or concerns for October or recent concerns? Anyone?
And the final question, anything we can do for you?
No, dude, you guys did it, you passed it. Extended the contract now, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Good.
In your new contract, has your territory expanded or contracted in any way?
No, the future still remains unseen totally, what next year may look like with whom we provide services to, but for the most part, most are continuing to utilize our services. Things have changed, as you well know, right? Everything's gotten more expensive. Finding employees, qualified police officers in this environment, where today, or for fire, everybody, EMS, everybody's hurting, right? So we're trying to keep up with that. So, and all that takes money and costs go up and up and up. But we're trying to do what we can to keep the costs on an average keel now. But yeah, so we'll see what the future brings us. It's been a challenging few years, to say the least.
Thank you, Chief.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Chief.
much. Have a great night. Thank you.
Fire.
Hello, everyone. I'll just give you a brief report for, so far, the 2024. As of today, we ran 186 calls. 186 calls, or we have 2 districts, Aleppo and Swickley Heights. District number 1, which is Aleppo Township, it's 116 calls. Now, of the 116 calls, 75 of them are out of town, which we call mutual aid. We keep the mutual aid in our district number 1. This is our home base. So anything out of town is, like I said, 75 calls. Anywhere ranges from mutual aid to Swickley, 21 calls, Ohio Township, 18. Emsworth and Glenfield, they're combined for 12. Neville Township, 10. Leedsdale, 5. Bell Acres, Ben Ave, and Moon Township, Franklin Park, Avalon, and Crescent. So we do a lot of mutual aid in the company. District number 2 is Swickley Heights with 70 calls, mostly automatic fire alarms. As you can see, the mutual aid numbers have gone up. They've gone up drastically over probably the last 4 or 5 years due to the county's format for run assignments.
Yeah.
They want you to load the first assignment. If smoke or fire is seen, they want a minimum of 4 engines, 2 trucks, and a rescue, when it could be as simple as a waste paper can. But it comes in, and the way the CAD works is it designates fire or smoke scene. They automatically dump it into a larger assignment. So that's where we're getting most of the 75 mutual aid. And I can tell you out of the 75, if I looked into it, probably 80% of them are canceled before we even
Callbacks.
get out the door. So it's a nuisance. I guess. They're waking everybody up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I was gonna say, how many of those hit boots on the ground?
Not a lot.
Okay. That's excellent. Okay.
I mean, like I said, we're canceled before the trucks even leave here, so, it's a problem, but we'll deal with it. 2024, the state grant came out, we applied for it, it's up to $20,000. This year, we're looking to update and upgrade all of our air monitoring equipment, CO detectors, gas detectors, and just for 4 and 4 is $20,000 for 8 meters. So, it's expensive. Also upgrading the lighting package on our 99 ladder truck. We looked into that, and the truck's 25 years old, so it was on the interstate. We had a crash on the interstate one day and almost had a crash because people can't see the big 70-foot, well, 60-some foot long ladder truck due to the lighting. The lighting's an issue, so they can't see the lights. And that's it. I believe Tom has sent out the audit for the year. I believe everybody got it, so everything looks good.
Any questions? Thank you very much, Chief.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Emergency management,
No report?
Public Works.
Evening, everybody. I know you all have copies of this. We've obviously been blowing a lot of leaves lately. We've had several potholes that have needed patched. We did get our new furnace on the roof of the building. I was there with them that day. We had a meeting, George was there, I was there, Gwen, with the a new company, a geotech company on Rose Avenue, so we're looking into that. That's about it. Any questions?
Any questions for Public Works? Any comments? Good job. We have 4 motions under Public Works. Why don't we start with Commissioner Haluka and go around the
I'd like
table?
the motion to approve the change order number 1 for a net increase of $2,275.30 to the 2024 tar and chip paving project for a total contract price of $131,038.30.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to approve pay request number 1 from Youngblood Paving for $111,338.30 for the first and final payment of the 2024 tar and chip paving project.
Second, with an amendment to $131,038.30.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to adopt the resolution to apply for local share account grant in the amount of $299,750 for the Weber Road Culvert Improvement Project.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to adopt resolution to apply for local shared account grant in the amount of $1 million for the Rhodes Avenue landslide rehabilitation project.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Communications.
No report?
No, yeah, no report. I replied to the question from last week about the question about the tar and chip on Swickley Heights Drive, and she appreciated the explanation, so that was
Good.
it.
Planning and zoning.
No report.
Tax collector treasurer.
No report this evening. Clay's traveling and was unable to get the report, so you're gonna have a double report next month.
Could we send that out before the next workshop meeting?
I will ask him to have that,
Good.
try to have that done.
Finance, once again,
Motion to approve October bill list in the amount of $72,956.63, to ratify October prepaid bills in the amount of $23,461.76, and to ratify October payroll transfers in the amount of $18,775.94.
is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to transfer the $8,030.41 from liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salt invoices.
Is there a second?
Second?
Manager Patterson, would you explain that transfer?
We, there's one fund called Liquid Fuels Fund, that it's money that we receive from PennDOT, from the state, and we can only use it for very limited purposes, and so we use it to purchase, the road salt that is spread. And so when that money is spent, a motion is required by this program to that the, board approve the transfer of any funds out of that fund into the general fund, which is where we pay our bills from.
Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to authorize the year-end employee bonuses in the same amount that was given last year.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I think I get stuck with this every
You
year.
got the short straw on this one,
I
for
always-
sure.
I feel like I've read this before.
You do that so well.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try. We'll see. I apologize right now if I hack anyone's last name or name. I sincerely apologize. Okay, motion to exonerate the following real estate taxpayers: Raymond P. Canada and Lauren E. Tauclet, 702 Timber Lane, 422H517 for $61,500 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, which is a refund of $210.94. Gregory W. Kahn, 122 Swickley Ridge Circle, 423A 105 for $68,900 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, a refund of $236.33.
Boy, it started early.
I know, it's a long way to go. Frederick Jonathan Kellinger, 1208 Swickley Heights Drive, 422 M81 for $146,900 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, a refund of $503.87. Christopher P. and Lauren M. Lang, 128 South McCoy Place Road, 422 E197 for $74,700 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, refund of $256.22. Jeffrey A. and Jill L. Lechner, 316 Swickley Ridge Drive, 423E39 for $144,500 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, refund of $495.64. Timothy E. Perrott and Janet K. Miller, 314 Weber Road, 422H120 for $25,200 reduction in the assessed valuation for 2024, refund of $86.44. Kevin J. Sullivan, 1020 Duff Road, 424L60 for $71,200 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, refund of $244.22. Taylor M. and Joseph Zalata Jr., 414 Rockledge Drive, 424A133 for $48,200 reduction in assessed valuation for 2024, refund of $165.32. Sheridan J. Edmondson, 311 Weber Road, 422H5 for $63,300 reduction in assessed valuation for 2023, refund of $217.12. Timothy E. Parrott and Janet K. Miller, 314 Weber Road, 422H120 for $35,900 reduction in assessed valuation for 2023, refund of $123.14. Kevin J. Sullivan, 1020 Duff Road, 424L60 for $71,200, reduction in assessed valuation for 2023, a refund of $244.22. Benjamin and Tiffany M. Yaka, 157 McCoy Place Road, 422C56, for $98,900, reduction in assessed valuation for 2023, refund of $339.23. Sheridan J. Edmondson, 311 Weber Road, 422H5, for $63,300 reduction in assessed valuation for 2022, refund of $217.12. And Timothy E. Parrott and Janet K. Miller, 314 Weber Road, 422H120 for $35,900 reduction in assessed valuation for 2022, a refund of $123.14.
Second.
Good job.
Thank you.
We had a second from Commissioner Darrow. Ms. Solicitor, could you explain perhaps why we had this flurry of activity?
The very short answer would be that there has been an uptick in county real estate tax assessment appeals due to the recent decisions from the Commonwealth Court regarding how the county had engaged in its accounting for real estate taxes. There was an uptick for the years 2022 and 2023 as both those years were at issue in the court decision, so pretty much across the board, we're seeing an increase in appeals of both, of everybody's assessed values. So this is pretty consistent with what we're seeing elsewhere. It's not unique to Aleppo. It should even out in the next couple of years, but for now, there's been an uptick everywhere.
And it was a change in the formula,
Exactly,
the common,
there's a formula known as the common level ratio, which is what was challenged. It had been established as an attempt to balance out some differences in how people were evaluated for their tax assessment purposes, and the percentage and the method of calculation that had been used was found to not be valid. There may be some changes in that case going forward, but as it stands, the method of assessment that was utilized in some cases is currently found to be invalid, and thus people have been entitled to appeal. There was an allowance to have, kind of a look back to prior appeals from 2022, 2023, which is why you see some of those earlier dates, earlier than normal, when you would, generally just be seeing your 2024 dates on your refunds.
thank you very much.
I see that there's 3 listings for three different Timothy Everett and Janet K. Miller in 3 locations,
No, same
No, different
location,
years.
3 years.
Just a year.
3 years.
3 years of
Yeah.
the same location, yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you were able to look back.
2023,
Oh,
2022.
okay, I looked for a duplicate number, but
Yeah.
missed those.
Yes. Yeah, so that's why this year, following that decision, is a little bit abnormal, that there is that ability to look back to some of the earlier tax years. Again, this is a challenge that municipalities across the county are dealing with. And it should, again, even out in the future years, but for now, this is, an abnormal number, but, abnormal in terms of the times and not in terms of the location, so everybody's dealing with it.
Thank you.
And I think as we speculated when we did the budget, we didn't get hurt too badly. The total amount is certainly not like the city school district, et cetera, who's getting slaughtered.
Absolutely, it's,
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2025 budget presentation.
Could you take one and pass it down?
Absolutely.
So, and then I have some of the other budgets here if anybody's interested, just, the shorter version of the budget. So what you're getting is the budget, the preliminary proposed budget for 2025. This has gone through a couple rounds of revisions with George and Judy reviewing the numbers and tweaking a few things. So this is the first official full draft of the budget. And what you're getting is the memo explaining some of the significant changes. Then you're getting the summary page, which is here if anybody's interested, and then you have the full detail behind it. And I'm not going to read this whole memo because it's long and not fascinating, but I will hit a few of the highlights of it. If you look, and it's easier to follow along if you look at this pink column on this short page. That's where you can see some of the changes. So the real estate or taxes, earned income taxes have been trending upward in the last couple of years, and so we've increased the expected amount of revenue from those two categories this year. The interest for all of our money in our different accounts grew a lot this past year, and so we definitely moved that expected number up. It might even be lowball, but we just don't know what next year's gonna bring, so we kind of tried to average the lower budget number and what we got this year, not expecting that we're gonna get the exact same year next year that we had this year. So those are the major increases in the kind of funding that we have. If you see transfers from other funds, that one looks much lower. That's because we are not transferring any money in from the capital improvements account, because we are not, in the expenditure side, not planning to spend any money on that. We're not doing a major paving project this year. 2 years ago, we paved the whole Ridge neighborhood and then a couple other areas. And then last year, we did a tar and chip project in multiple areas throughout the township. So this is one of the savings years where we just bank some money and save it for the next larger project in a couple years. The engineers have updated the road study as far as priority list, and then they're working on updating the cost list to make sure that we are still kind of on the right path for a 20-year projection. On the expense side, I just went over that there's no large paving amount planned. We are continuing to fund the truck fund so that we are saving money every year towards the purchase of new trucks and equipment. We have a smaller equipment fund too for smaller equipment, and also saving towards, someday another, a replacement backhoe. We're not hopefully in the market for that right now. And, since we're here, this will be year 2 of the fire contract, the new fire contract with it. Is also going to be providing some funding towards the purchase of the new squad truck. So that's why that number is a little bit different than prior years. And transfers to other funds, the last line item on the expenditures, that includes truck funds, and it also, that fluctuates based on any, audit excess balance and things like that. So that's the main highlights. A lot of the numbers are pretty standard in that we have contracts for a lot of services that we already know what the number is for next year, so it increases a little bit and we adapt to that. So it's a pretty steady year right now.
Any questions?
I don't think so.
So I
Comments?
would ask that you look it over, and if you have any questions, please call me or email me, and I can explain anything, we can go over it. It has to be adopted via ordinance, so this would be on the agenda for adoption at the December meeting, because we have to have time to advertise the ordinance, which is first we adopt the ordinance setting key point. Not looking at any real estate tax millage increase this year. That would have been the top line if I'd thought about it. Not looking to raise taxes this year. So first we would adopt the ordinance saying that we're gonna keep the same millage rate, and then we would have the second ordinance adopting the budget.
Okay.
Any further questions? There's no motion to accept at this meeting. Not yet.
Not yet.
Gwen, what has been our average millage increase in the last 5 years?
None.
Pardon me?
No millage increase in the last 5 years.
Right. I think the last movement was actually a decrease.
It was.
I have to say, since the question came up, there is some stress on our revenue. I think you all heard what the police just said about 2026. And everything is getting more expensive, so we're trying to maintain, we're trying to keep the reserves healthy. We just had an improvement in our bond rating, so that if it came to the point where we had to borrow money, we might get a little better interest rate. But times are tough. Aleppo Township Authority.
to explain the motion.
Oh, would you like me to explain those? Sure. Every year since 2021, so the last couple of years, the commissioners have voted to take some of the savings from the prior bond refinance and take it and give it as a lump sum to the Aleppo Township Authority for their sewer budget as a way to kind of take the savings from that and stave off a rate increase. And so this will be, I think it's 21, 22, 23, this will be the fourth year, I think, that contribution, if you so choose, could be made to help fund their sewer budget. It comes from our sewer bond account, which can only be used for sewer purposes. So it's not coming from the general fund, it's coming from people who pay sewer bills. So it's kind of returning it back to that budget.
Move to make discretionary annual contribution of $40,000 from the sewer bond fund to the Aleppo Township Authority.
Second from
Second.
Commissioner Williams.
Second.
Any further discussion? I think the overall decision comes from, due to the savings that we did experience through the two refinancings. Every year, we try to evaluate the best use of those savings, whether it's to buy down the principal on the debt, to prepare for a second refinancing, or to use it to keep the rates down. And this year, it was pretty clear that the best use was to give it to the authority to help them keep the rates stable.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority,
No report.
Quaker Valley COG,
No report.
Ms. Solicitor.
My only report is that Harlan has, I believe, now completed the development agreement for the Ferndale plan, which was outstanding.
The stormwater agreement.
Stormwater agreement, my apologies. I believe he placed it in the mail to the developer today, so that should be
Oh, great.
completed. And other than that, I have no report.
Any questions for the solicitor? Thank you.
Perfect.
Unfinished business? New business?
I have one tiny thing to mention. I found out that Michael Brothers, which is like a recycling company and a dumpster company, they're offering a Christmas light recycling program this year. So if you are hanging your lights and you find a strand is burned out, you can bring it to the township. They're going to provide us with a container for it. You can bring it up to the township building and they'll collect it and take it. I cannot say I know what they do with it, but they say that there are ways that they have the machinery that can strip certain parts from it. So we're offering that as the COG communities are getting that. So we're gonna have a Christmas light recycling thing in the
You're gonna
building.
turn them all black and gold.
Judy, Judy.
She got it in as part of the official minutes.
She did. Motion to strike.
Citizen participation? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Any further discussion? We're adjourned.
It's in participation.